All right, everybody, thank you for joining me once again. So for our movement tutorial this particular week, we're going to look at side body. Not many times do we sort of move in this plane. A lot of times we're moving kind of here, and then this idea of like side body lengthening, we're going to look at stretching. Also strengthening. So prime movers, muscles, we're looking at like obliques, intercostals of the rib cage down here into the hip flexors as well. So figuring out this idea again of lengthening and strengthening side body for any of our side bend or more advanced, for example, like handstand and then the legs bending. But generally for what we're going to do today, the feet are going to be on the ground. It will be the upper body bending and rotating. So again, maybe something that traditionally a range, a movement of the body that in a typical fitness approach, perhaps we're really overlooking side body. And there are a good number of movements where this side body strength would definitely come in. First of all, number one, just for the fact of bringing balance into the body. Again, if we do so much work in these planes forward and back, when are we actually bending side body? And if we do things to the left and to the right, maybe it's like a side lunge or something like that. But now again, we're looking at bending at the hips and the waist. So just bringing again balance to the body. We can find the benefits in such moves, for example, the cartwheel. Perhaps if you're familiar with like the QDR, maybe even thinking like the human flag. So there's a variety of different movements, even again, more advanced things such as handstands, bends, and things like that. So a variety of places where the side bending strength also. One more thing came to mind, the meat hook. An example of, again, a move on the rings, the gymnastic rings, where side body strength would come in handy. And then again, obviously, just throughout our yoga practice, side planks, all of those things. So maybe, again, a lot of things you already have in your repertoire. I'm going to show you just a few different approaches to how we can lengthen and strengthen side body. So for the first one, you see this gymnastic ring that I have here. We're just going to look at lengthening. So getting a nice stretch. And I often like to start pretty much most of my morning, whatever it is I'm working on, with some type of side body stretch. One I really like is to hold on to a gymnastic ring initially with two hands. You can lean forward till you're getting a nice stretch, and then you're going to try to pivot your heels so that, if I can, getting all tangled up here, so that you can start to get your side body a nice stretch. I like to start here with two hands on the ring. You can kind of move back and forth. You can move through center. You can pivot on the heels. Get this nice side body stretch. It does feel really good. And then again, both palms holding on to the ring. More intense would be the side of your body that's getting the stretch, just to keep the grip on that palm. Really, again, trying to twist and get that nice side body stretch. And then maybe you're rotating. And then just, again, it's the left side of my body that's getting the stretch. So I will keep the grip with the left hand. And you might feel it all the way from the armpit through your lat muscle, down through your rib cage, again, into side body. So a really nice way to start to lengthen before bringing maybe the arms overhead, maybe before a yoga practice, anything like that. So very simple. Again, just using a ring. We do want the ring to be over our head, a little less than pull-up height. So if you reach your hands up, we would want the ring a little bit lower than if we were to reach up and try and grab the bar. But a really nice side body stretch that you can do, again, just with this gymnastic ring, and indeed where there is some pulling involved. All right. So this is one approach to lengthen side body. Another approach would be to grab a dowel. We're going to grab the dowel about shoulder width distance apart. Now, you do not have to do this drill on a wall, but I highly suggest doing this drill on the wall. The wall will keep us honest and will keep us straight. You've heard the expression trying to perform this move between two panes of glass. The wall will help create so that we're just doing side bending, strict side flexion, not leaning one body part forward or any rotation. So the wall is helpful. Again, I'll grab the dowel, maybe about shoulder width distance apart, just beyond perhaps. Your feet can be a little bit off of the wall. That is okay. We'll bring the arms, should be good here. Yeah, we'll bring the arms overhead. Now, try to have the glutes on the wall, the natural curvature to the spine. If it comes off there, it's okay. The back of my head's on the wall, and try to keep the back of your palms on the wall the whole time. From here, we're not going to move the arms left to right. You're just going to bend at your waist, your abdominals. So I'm going to side bend, keeping everything on the wall. I'm going to pause, feel these muscles being stretched, lengthened, but also contract these muscles and use them to pull yourself back up to your starting position. Go in again to strict side flexion the other direction. I'm going to bend. Again, my arms are not moving. Bend. You're starting now to feel that tension build in the right obliques, maybe even up here throughout the rib cage. Really, really tighten your core. All those muscles really, really strong. Use the core to come back up. So I want you to think of this as core work, but understanding, very, very important, one of the main functions of all of the abdominal muscles, in addition to all of the back muscles that make up the trunk or the core of the body. Why are they so important? One major role to protect our spines. When performing this drill, if you want to think again like core work, great. Yes, it is. It's core work. But it's to protect the spine. All right. So rather than just looking good like I have six-pack or something like this, the real function is, again, protecting the spine. So we don't want to feel the back muscles in this. Use your core. Turn it on. Engage it. Feel what's going on. Become familiar. And you need to understand and feel. I can tell you, but you need to feel how those muscles are responsible for protecting the spine. And if you were in an awkward position, for example, like a side bend, and you were to relax those muscles, then you might feel a little discomfort or not so good sensations in the back, lower back, anywhere in the spine. So, big important role. And then also, obviously, to protect us as we're making all these different shapes, having the spine be one of the most mobile joints in the fact of all the different movements that it can do, being that it's comprised of many different vertebrae. All right? So, really important stuff, what we're trying to achieve here. Let's go back and show you a few more repetitions. Like everything we do, I always recommend start slow, gradually make it more challenging or add on. So again, on my first rep or two, I'm going to stop when I just start to feel like my left rib cage and obliques are being stretched. Use those muscles to power yourself back up. And then each time, maybe you go a little bit further with how far you're rotating. Don't go really, really fast, too fast, back and forth. Control it the whole time. Everything is pressing back onto the wall. So I'm going to go into side flexion. One more example. I'll show you at about the tempo that I would recommend. All right. Side flexion. Pause. Hold for 3. Feel the tension build. 2. Power yourself back up on 1. Side flexion. Pause. 2. 1. Use those muscles to bring you back up. As far as the weight being distributed in the feet, see if you can keep the weight fairly distributed between both feet equal. However, I definitely have found success in the weight shifting. So if the weight does go, for example, into the right foot way more, you can see my left foot's pretty light. It is okay. I would say it is more important, though, of what's going on here. If butt muscles want to clench up, interesting other muscles want to turn on, let them turn on. Again, the key is to protect our spine, trying to take these side flexions. I highly suggest, again, the use of the wall as well. For me, it was the spine drill. I call it the spine drill 6x6. It's when we round down, round up, take the back bend and then go into this side flexion, and then we also rotate the spine. If you've come to class before, I'm sure you're somewhat familiar with the spine drill, but it was with that initial drill where I really had this idea and this concept of how important the abdominals are, all of the muscles, again, in the back of their role in protecting the spine. So again, I feel like this drill in particular really shows us that in particular. If your arms and shoulders fatigue from being overhead for a long period of time, bring them down, take a break, but you'll be able to hold the hands overhead longer as you build up the strength for this particular drill. A very, very easy way to, again, just make it a little bit harder is you can always use a weighted dowel, but I would highly suggest a very minimal increase in weight. This dowel weighs barely anything. Maybe it's a pound, maybe not even a pound. So if you were to add some weight, again, we do have like black dowels here, something that weighs maybe 3 or 4 pounds, maybe even like 5 or 6 pounds. That's how little the weight needs to be. And because of the lever point, because of where it is overhead, just a few pounds is going to make a big difference in how it feels in the abdominals. So I would not at all grab an Olympic 45-pound bar. I would not even grab like a 10-pound like curl bar at your gym. I would go really light, see if they have a black dowel or that weighs, less than 5 pounds. And I would highly suggest working here for a good amount of time before advancing to putting any weight overhead. All right? What else about this particular exercise? I recommend 3 sets of 20 repetitions. So maybe you start off with a few of the side body stretches that we showed using the gymnastic ring, and then maybe 3 sets of 20. And I really like putting this in as a prep work, so in the beginning, so morning time to get the body loose, but then also too, just for any mobility work, especially if you're going to work handstands or anything like that. I feel like this in conjunction with shoulder dislocations is really, really nice opening to get your arms overhead for your handstand practice. So simple one, right? 2 different drills. Probably ones that we generally don't look at. And it is, maybe you've seen this at the gym. Somebody will have like a weight or a dumbbell in a hand, and they'll kind of go back and forth like this. It's okay. I personally feel like this is a better drill. We get a lot more length. Yeah, so see what you think. All right? Quick one today. Those 2 drills, side body strength and lengthening. Because it's such a foreign movement, chances are you might be a little bit sore in the obliques, maybe even in the back. But again, it's important that we feel the soreness in the muscles, not that like shitty achy feeling in our lower back, like maybe we just had bad form or something like that. So again, give it a shot. 3 sets of about 20 total repetitions, left and right equals 2, 20 total. Maybe starting off with 1 or 2 sets of the side body stretch on the gymnastic rings. Thank you so much, guys. Give it a shot. Please hit me up with any issues or any questions. And I really, really have been working this for about 2-3 weeks. In particular, like having a focus on it, and it's really just making the whole entire body just feel a lot better in all of the different movements, particularly any of that locomotion work that we work on quite a bit. All right? Questions, hit me up. Otherwise, peace, namaste. Have a great one, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this particular tutorial. Any suggestions, feel free to comment or reach out. Otherwise, later on, enjoy. Side bodies, let's get them moving. Peace.